It's time for Windows Weekly. Paul Thurrott and Richard Campbell are huddled around the fire in beautiful Macungie, Pennsylvania for a very special year-end show. No Microsoft news, just stories, tales, and a little bit of heavy drinking. Coming up next on Windows Weekly.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
This is Windows Weekly with Paul Thurrott and Richard Campbell, episode 964 for New Year's Eve 2025. Happy New Year. Well, happy holidays, everybody. It's actually, I guess we're airing this on the New Year's Eve. Is that right? Wow. A special holiday recording of Windows Weekly, and lo and behold, look who the reindeer dragged in.
Yep.
Richard and Paul are together in beautiful Macungie.
Yeah.
Paul's got some sort of odd...
it's real. It's not AI.
Look at that. They're touching
really
one
do.
another.
We can actually touch each other. It's no cut here.
Wow. It's really, truly a Christmas miracle.
I flew back from Lithuania and stopped I landed in Philadelphia and took an Uber out to Lower Macungie. So here I am.
So just in case you're tuning in expecting like Microsoft news, forget about it. This is...
That's not what we're doing.
That's not what we're doing today. Today, we're just going to celebrate the holidays with our,
as people do, like normal human being adults.
Like normal. Well, traditionally on the network, we do best ofs. But I just thought, oh, heck. Why don't we do something different this time?
Yep.
Let the editors
Leo was like,
relax.
you guys aren't working hard enough. Let's involve you this time.
Yeah. With headgear. Let's involve us with headgear.
Let's not do Windows news. Let's not do a best of. Let's get and it turned out because Richard was going to be in Macungie that you two could sit together. And now, Richard, you've got a Surface. Looks like there.
Yep. Yeah. This is a Surface Studio 2.
Nice. That's a big one. And Paul's running.
It's got the NVIDIA 4060 in it, which means I can melt casings on phones with it. Right?
You don't really need the fire. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's blasting out of the side of this thing hot.
Your own U-Log. And then Paul's using an HP laptop. Is that one of the Elite books or?
No, it's an OmniBook 5. This is the Snapdragon-based.
Oh, nice.
16-inch.
Nice.
Laptop.
So it's not blasting heat out.
It's not blasting anything out except for oodles of battery life.
Yeah. Something's blasting heat out because Paul, despite the fact that he's wearing a hat and a very odd vest, looks like you could be a school crossing monitor at a Christmas school.
Future guy in a post office wall warning poster.
Yeah, but he's also wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Is it a hot day?
I'm sending a lot of mixed signals to my bodies about temperature right now because this thing is hot. Richard's laptop is hot.
Yeah.
This thing on my head is hot.
Everything's
I don't wear
hot.
vests, but
hot.
It's all hot.
Are we in the Thurrott living room here?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. You have I like this over your fireplace is a ASL picture. Mm-hmm. That's very cool. That's nice. Yeah. I have purchased, I had it. It's really the remnants of my collection here. I have about, I don't know, a finger of Angel's Envy.
Yeah.
I do have from the last time you were out, Richard, a little bit of the Clonakilty left.
Oh, wow. Look at
this
that
was
bottle.
Really good.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And then, I don't know why, I have some Lagavulin 16 for some reason. I guess
because you needed, if you've got a bottle of dirty ashtray. That's
I need
nice.
a little hit of peat. See.
That's not a little hit of peat. That's a thorough thumping.
Oh, well, good. The cork broke off, so I'm good.
Oh, there you go. That's going to be harder.
It's just more peat.
Shows how long it's been since you opened that.
It's more peat. I think it would be appropriate to light the cork on fire, and that would give it a really nice peaty glow.
Burning cork is not a pleasant smell. No,
it doesn't smell too well. It's a little peaty.
Yeah,
I was going to say, give it a second.
There's actually.
Woo! Yeah. Okay. And then just for grins, I brought because I'm more of a rum guy. I brought some and gin. I like G&Ts. I brought some Rusty Blade gin.
Nice.
which is
My
from the single barrel
collection
cask.
of witty, what do you call these coasters? It says, let the evening be gin.
Let the evening be. Oh, I get it. Like begin. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, we can begin with the begin. This is a cask strength single barrel blade gin. It's a rusty blade.
Well,
gin.
and it looks like it's got it's a little brown, like it's actually
Yeah,
woody.
that's why it's rusty.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
wonder what the barrels are for it. Slowly
I imagine
handcrafted on the shores of San Francisco Bay.
Oh, God.
They locally source the finest
From
California
the local
fruit
Superfund site.
and spices. Well, it is. If it wasn't, it is now. 3-stage distillation in a custom copper pot still designed by and manufactured exclusively for a master distiller. Evaporation of Angel Share finally reduces this precious spirit to 94 proof Rusty Blade gin. They don't say what it's aged in. It rivals fine single malt whiskeys, XO cognacs, or fine bourbons. We like it either neat or with an ice cube or in any brown spirit cocktail, like the Rusty Nutcracker, which would be appropriate for this time of year.
Wow.
I wish it said what it was aged in. 'Cause something gave it all that color, right?
Yeah, it'll be oak of some kind.
Yeah.
Whether the most obvious candidate would be bourbon barrel, just because they're so common and can only be used once, right? So
Yeah.
that's probably the safe bet.
Well, I think the Angel's Envy or the Clonakilty would be my choice.
They'll both go very well.
choice.
This is actually the whiskey that's on the upcoming Windows Weekly, which will already be out by the time this is out.
So
this
we've
is
already
the Pennsylvania Old Farm. You'll have already seen it, and I've already told the story of it, which I only finished writing today.
I think that's isn't that Paul's name, the Pennsylvania Old Fart? I think that's Paul's name. Old Farm. Oh,
Old
okay.
Farm. It's almost the same. Really.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so I hope you at home have something to imbibe while we engage in
We do.
friendly chatter. This show needn't be very long. If you decide you want to bail out, to tap out at any time, please be our guests. Paul, you may feel that at some point
I
you
might
want to
just
cover
pass
your
out,
knees. I don't know. You may pass out.
That's fine,
What do you? So, are you drinking that tonight? Whatever that was that you had.
Good.
Yeah. Good. It's
A little Pennsylvania Old Fart. It's nice. Local holiday tradition.
Could be if it weren't so. If it is New Year's Eve. So I mean, I figure it's okay. We can be a little outrageous here.
Yeah.
Number of people are drinking coffee because it is. We are recording.
Sensible. Maybe you're at a work day,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
On
It's
the live
only a
stream.
Monday at noon my time, so it's a little early. But the sun,
That's,
as my old grandfather used to
Clonakilty is
say,
probably a good call then, because the Irish don't mess around. Lunchtime is whiskey time.
as my grandpa used to say, the sun's gone over the yard arm.
Nice.
I don't know.
Somewhere.
He had no idea what that meant, but
It was the
sounds
minute it's
good.
time
It
to have a
sound-
drink.
it sounds manly. You know,
I shouldn't drink it out of the bottle. Oh, but that Clonakilty is so good.
it's a class.
And there's not much. It's a glass bottle. Yeah. So I thought we'd just, I don't know, tell some yarns.
Yeah.
Stories from our past. I
That's the only kind of story I have, Leo.
I want to, yeah. Well, there's no stories from your future yet.
No.
What was your favorite Christmas memory, Paul? Maybe your favorite gift or a favorite
Boy.
moment?
I do
Favorite
recall
Christmas
getting Barry Manilow's greatest hits as a young man.
Really? Did you
album.
actually get that as a gift?
Yeah, I did. Those were more innocent times.
Were you excited about that, or was that something
I was
from
pretty
an
happy
aunt?
about it. We just saw Barry live last year in Pennsylvania, actually.
Wow.
on Reading.
Really?
Yeah.
He writes the
Guy's
songs
gotta
to
be
make the
80-something
whole-
years old. He's doing great.
Is he?
Still doing his thing.
Is he
sounds
energetic still and all that?
You know, he doesn't move as much, but I wouldn't either. I mean, no, but he's doing good.
We went to see Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road show, which was going. He said, it's my last concert tour, but it went on for like 4 years, so
Right.
it was his last. But I mean, it was literally his last. And he is not all that mobile, But they did something quite clever.
Well, he's a piano player. He can just sit in front of the piano, you know.
Exactly. They put his piano on a conveyor belt, and the piano would move around the stage. He would just sit there.
He could just like sit there. And
the piano would move around with him. And then
that's efficient. I like
it was
that.
very efficient. Every once in a while, he'd stand up and kind of bow and then sit back down, and the piano would move around some more. Then, because it's goodbye, everybody. My last concert, which, by the way, is obviously far from. But anyway, my last concert. And so he's playing Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, appropriately. And there's a stairway leading to, like, out to a door.
To one of those, like, escalator, like...
It's an escalator. He doesn't have to climb it. He hits on it, and the escalator slowly moves him up, and he waves, and it's out the door. And
That's amazing.
I mean, not to
right
mock
out to
him.
the van.
Yeah, right. It probably goes straight to the car. Look, I mean, I'm lucky I can still move. I think that's admirable that these guys are still out there performing.
It's crazy.
At the age 82. That's incredible.
Yeah.
What was, Richard, do you have I don't know, do you celebrate Christmas in Canada?
Yeah, sort of, but we do it a couple of weeks earlier, you know. It's like like Thanksgiving.
Yeah. What's your
God mean nothing to you people.
you have I can't. Paul, you look like you're about ready to dance around the maypole. You're really not. I don't know what's going on here.
This is really, it's just off.
That is a beard attached to that's now on your head.
Yeah, I think he took it off. It's on the back of his head.
It's around the back. It's where all the hair is anyway. It's on my back.
So Richard, a fond holiday memory of yours?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my father, who's passed now, was an electrical engineer, getting me my first soldering iron.
Wow.
Because I'm that kind of geek, man. And he was.
You never forget your first, do you?
Never forget your first. And he made me solder and desolder LED displays for cash registers over and over again until I get my hand right.
To practice.
It's important for parents to turn anything fun into like a job.
Yeah.
Work.
You know, like my dad did this with me in basketball. Like, I ran drills in the driveway. Can we just have a good time or something?
Yeah.
Or?
No. You got to get a basketball. You're good at basketball.
Got to plan for your future.
There you go.
Yep.
Did he think you were going to become a soldering fiend? Like in your future, that was what was ahead for you, is assembling motherboards or something?
Yeah, well, I ended up doing a fair bit of that, actually.
Really?
And repairing PCs when they came along. So
is that how you got started in this
job.
Really? And after school? Wow.
Yeah, my after-school job. Well, I bumped into a TRS-80 in like 77, the Model 1s.
Wow.
And within a year, I was working at a company called H&S Microsystems after school, doing lower case kits for the Model 1 and RAM expansions. And then when the first floppy drives came along, they came as a kit, and most people assembled it wrong. And the guy who was teaching me, a guy named Tyler, we'd make up these little bundles of the parts that people would usually screw up, and so you could quickly repair them and get them on their way. So after school, he'd literally have a line of like lower case mods I had to do, or repairs on drives and things, and I'd fix them up.
Nice.
Yeah, no.
I'm
really
wondering
never
if
done
you
anything
could
else, you know.
I don't know if it would burn you if you touched it, but could you fix this Mac? Because I think it's got a dead capacitor. It got that
Probably
fishy burning smell, like burning fish smell.
You know, those old spun capacitors, they just wear out, right? You probably have to do them all.
Yeah.
They'd have to be desoldered and
the USS Enterprise.
Desolder each one, replace with comparable, and solder back up again. Don't get the polarity.
Can you buy capacitors that would be comparable?
Yeah, probably on Amazon somewhere. They'll come from China. You know.
It's kind of one of the saddest things of the modern age is that the stores where you, like Radio Shack or others. Where
discrete parts aren't a thing anymore. They're not worth stocking.
You can't go buy those anymore.
You used to go buy it. They used to literally have just aisles of bins.
Yeah.
You know?
And you had to know the resistor codes, the colors and what they meant, right?
Yeah. I actually I had to buy some resistors for a thing I was assembling, and the only way I could buy them was as a huge kit of like 1,000 pieces, but it was $10, right? So
now
for the 2 resistors I needed, I got a box like this.
Yep.
we gotta move these resistors.
Yeah. If you need any resistors, I got
a salvage yard for electronic parts, you know?
Well, your dad, I guess, kind of gave you your love for technology, you think?
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. Here's one of the stories of working in H&S is that the head of the service department loves salvaging gear. And one day he brings in a spectrum analyzer. They'd gotten out of the university. It was worn out, but there was still a laser in it and a bunch of other parts. It's like, hey, take this apart, right? And pull all the parts out. So as I'm yanking parts out, I pull out these can capacitors, like 1 farad capacitors. They probably weigh 5-8 pounds each.
Wow.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make myself a Jacob's ladder out of these things. So I wire them up, put them onto the power supply to get them charging, and I'm assembling the wire assembly to put the thing together while I'm still pulling it apart. But I'm 12. I get distracted, and I forget that I've left these things charging, and I hear this crackle, I look up, and the side of the capacitor is expanding outward. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. And then there's this gigantic blue flash, and the whole building power goes out.
Yep.
So we're in the service room, so we're in the back. There's no windows or anything, right? It's completely dark, and I can feel something touching me. Like there's something flying around the room, but I don't know what it is. So there's much cursing, and somebody finds the main breaker,
like a time shift, continuum thing into
like if I've blown into another dimension.
Timeline.
They were paper-packed capacitors, and I blew paper all over the room, like absolutely everywhere. Just
better than like little bits of iron or something,
And the only thing left of the capacitor was the 2 bolts that I had hooked up to the power supply. So I'm like,
pretty sure.
So
this
they
is
had
the
nowhere
beginning of the movie, The Arrival.
I had to vacuum up all the paper.
Oh,
but all all those big capacitors were layers of copper and paper wrapped together in a plastic container, and vaporized the damn thing. It was a good day. And Tyler comes in with the powers back on, and he looks at me with the paper and goes, "So, what have we learned?"
So your dad gave you a lasting love for technology, and Paul's dad gave him a lasting love for middle-of-the-road music.
That was not from my dad, but yeah, fair enough.
Okay, well, who was it from your mom?
Yeah. My dad actually had a really cool collection of, at the time, 60s and 70s music on albums. So nice. I learned a lot about the Beatles, the Stones, the Doors, Pink Floyd, etc. So I had that kind of thing. But he also, he was, one of my best early gifts from him was an SLR camera, like a Motorola X570, I think it was. And I always laugh now, when you look at like iPhones or any smartphone, and it's like, oh, this is a 200 millimeter equivalent. I'm like, yeah, because that 200 millimeter lens looks like this. I had one. I used to go to the Boston Garden and take pictures of the Celtics playing, and it was like I was center court, but that thing was.
Did you imagine you wanted
like
to be a photographer when you grew up?
No, but I was artistic and apparently autistic, and I. But
you
I
did become a graphic designer, stuff, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a way,
I've always liked photography.
Yeah.
And such a fine paying job.
What did your dad do, Paul?
My real father, so to speak, not to complicate this story, is he worked he was a Boston police officer.
Oh.
And then he worked in lighting, and they moved eventually here, which is why we're in Pennsylvania. This is where Lutron is based, and he was there.
Oh, he worked for Lutron. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right there, right by Lutron.
Yeah, this is the heart of it, heart of Lutron country.
Talking about Lutron tech this week, so.
I have, I think, Lutron switches throughout my house.
Yeah, exactly. I was just looking at those.
Yeah, Lutron Casita.
My brother-in-law no longer works there, but I was asking him about that, and he was pointing me to a bunch of other stuff, and I was like, you're not really recommending a lot of Lutron stuff, I see. He's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Did you ever think about going into law enforcement?
Yeah, I would have been an awesome state trooper, right?
You would have been so great.
Would have been
I could see the chin strap up right under your lower lip.
On a motorcycle?
I would have been great at that.
Thing. That's an aesthetic.
Big black boots, jodhpurs.
I've known so many police officers over the years. Like I have so many police stories, but like when I was in a bank teller in Boston, they used to drive around the parking lot in the morning before we opened, and they'd shine the spotlight in the door, through the windows and stuff. They'd be like, "Paul Thurrott, we know you're in there. Come out with our checks." Classic.
We know you're in there. If you were a malt copy, get your own Segway. That's a pretty nice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is well before Segways, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, that would be something to aspire to later in life.
Yeah, exactly.
Richard, what did your dad do?
My dad was electrical engineer. He made S100 bus electronic cash registers.
What are you like data
one
from
right
Star
behind
Trek?
me here.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and
So,
the
S100
inside.
bus.
I really didn't have much of a choice, you know. This is the path I was going to
My
be
dad
on.
was Jerry Purnell.
Yeah, that's what. But he did cash register, point of sale systems, but they were computers.
Yeah, they were effectively computers, yeah. They ran on 8080s.
Wow.
And,
You
so they
guys
were
are so
flexible.
young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say that, but I mean,
I've owned TVs that had transistors in them. I don't know what you mean by young, but
I feel like I was an adult when S100 and 8080s were
Yeah.
all the rage.
Well, I was a kid. I was just a kid, but
Did your mom work, or was she
Worked
a
on it.
homemaker?
she was always an office manager.
Office man.
Yeah.
How about you, Paul? Did your mom work?
yeah, she was a nurse and
Oh,
also a homemaker, obviously, because, you know,
Nice.
mothers do everything.
yeah. That's right.
That
Whether they
hasn't
work or
changed.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Leo Laporte here with a little bit of an ask. Every year at this time, we'd like to survey our audience to find a little bit more about you. As you may know, we respect your privacy. We don't do anything. In fact, we can't do anything to learn about who you are. And that's fine with me. I like that. But it helps us with advertising. It helps us with programming to know a little bit about those of you who are willing to tell us. Your privacy is absolutely respected. We do get your email address, but that's just in case there's an issue. We don't share that with anybody. What we do share is the aggregate information that we get from these surveys. Things like 80% of our audience buy something they heard in an ad on our shows, or 75% of our audience are IT decision makers. Things like that are very helpful with us when we talk to advertisers. They're also very helpful to us to understand what operating systems you use, what content you're interested in. So enough. Let me just ask you, if you will, go to twit.tv/survey26 and answer a few questions. It should only take you a few minutes of your time. We do this every year. It's very helpful to us. Your privacy is assured, I promise you. And of course, if you're uncomfortable with any question or you don't want to do it at all, that's fine too. But if you want to help us out a little bit, twit.tv/survey26. Thank you so much. And now back to the show. Well, I've run out of questions. Thank you, guys. It's been great talking to you.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is an opportunity. I think this is an opportunity for us to get to know you guys a little bit better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
Richard,
we're usually buttoned up during the show. So
I know you keep close to the vest. Never express your true feelings, do you, Paul?
Yes.
We're a shy bunch.
I'm glad to finally have this forum, Leo. Thank you.
Okay. What's
I have a couple of
irritating
topics I'd
you
like to
this
address.
week, Mr.
Religion,
Thurrott?
politics.
The works.
I feel very strongly that women should not be allowed to vote. You know, things like that.
Oh, God, he doesn't mean it, kids. He's joking.
Come on.
So Dustin's asking in our club TWiT, how did you end up with a home in Mexico? How did that come about?
Yeah. I mean, my wife and I have been going to Europe the whole time we've
You
been
used
married.
to
but
do home exchange stuff, right?
Yeah. We took a break when we had the kids at first, and then we started going back. And I think for about 20 years, we spent at least a month every year in Europe. And we always had this vague idea that we would try to split time between the United States and Europe at some point, with no idea how that was ever going to work. And it would have been very complicated and expensive. But the year that pandemic happened, we didn't travel like most people. And then the next year, the United States opened up, but we did not open to people from Europe. So we couldn't do a home swap in Europe. And we have friends there. We have a bunch of friends there, but we had the last family we had done the swap with before the pandemic, that Steve Bank, and we talked, and he said, "Look, if we can't figure anything out, we should just do swap again." And we're like, "Yeah, of course." Like outside of Amsterdam, but they couldn't come here, so I started researching things, and like most Americans, I mean, Mexico was not on my radar. It has a bad rep. I don't know if you noticed in the news. It seems like it's a scary, bad place. I've seen what's that? The Denzel Washington movie based on the book Man on Fire. I'm like, this doesn't seem like a good place. Kidnappings, whatever. But it came across my radar somehow. I started looking into it, and then I distinctly remember going to my wife and saying, "Listen, I have an idea. you're going to want to interrupt me. Just let me get through this. I said, I think we should go to Mexico. And she's like, I'm like, oh,
let me interrupt. Let me stop you right there, Paul.
But I showed her what I found, and we looked into it, and we did just a week trip in June that year, and then we took the kids out later. We did a 2 or 3 week trip, I don't remember.
So this is instead of Europe, you thought?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot less expensive, right?
Closer, it's a lot less expensive, fewer time zones. It's easy. Getting older, it's like hard to travel overnight to Europe, et cetera. I don't know how Richard does it.
God, I don't know how Richard does it either.
And we just...
I did 3 days ago.
The goal in 2022 is to spend years staying in different parts of Mexico City each trip and trying to think maybe there's a place here that we might want to be in. And the very first trip, on the last day, we were walking down the street to go to a real estate agency just to ask about next steps, like what are the first things we should do, whatever. Walked around the corner, there was an apartment for sale. We went and looked at it. My wife is the most pragmatic, dare I say, cheap person on the planet. And I knew she was going to talk me out of this because I was like, man, I really want this place. And so I said, what do you think? And she says, I have to buy this place.
Oh, my God.
I was like, okay.
Oh, my God.
It was the weirdest. It's just so against the way we have ever been. But it just kind of happened. And there we are.
You actually, I've created a website and a YouTube channel called Eternal Spring.
Yep.
About how you did all this. And it's going to be a book?
It is a book.
It is a book.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
So you think of this as a second career, or is this just a side?
It's not.
You're both writers.
We're not going to make money doing this. This is just sharing our love of this place and wanting people to get it right, because there's a lot you could mess up and get wrong. And, we stumbled into this badly, but did well, and we just got lucky.
Right.
And so...
You did. I'm very jealous, to be honest with you. I every time you call from Mexico City, I think, you go out.
I mean, we hit Thanksgiving
incredible
Day.
Food.
Well, no, it was, sorry, a little bit after Thanksgiving, we were talking to a guy we know the bartender near here, and he had moved to Maine, but he's back just for the holidays. And I said, I don't know, why aren't you in Maine? He says, it's 7 degrees. I'm like, right, that would do it. I looked at it, I said, well, it's 71 degrees in Mexico City right now, so it's close. I said, 7's pretty good if it's Celsius.
What's the biggest challenge or difficulty you've faced with this?
In Mexico?
Well, just in general with this whole, because you live in 2 places now, although you no longer own a home in the United States.
No, well, so actually in September we bought this place.
Okay.
We had been living here for almost 2 years.
He blames me, because when we were talking, he was talking about being home, and I said, home?
He said, what do you mean by home?
Where do you own?
I said, well, they're both home. And he said, well, where do you own real estate? I'm like, okay, I see what you're saying.
That place.
Well, where do you pay your taxes? You guys both know me well enough to know that the way we stepped into this was, I think back in May or something, I was looking at the calendar and I said, I think we're going to spend more time in Mexico this year than we are in the United States, unless something goes south or whatever. And I said, obviously we should buy a place here in Pennsylvania. And she says, it's funny you say that. I was actually thinking about that.
Well, you two are on a wavelength. Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice that you agree on all that?
Look at his face. We don't agree on everything.
An amazing face. I don't know how to interpret it, but
I just had this. I was telling Brad this morning. Like I'm in the bathroom this morning putting my contacts in, right? And my wife is next to me doing the same.
Yeah.
But she has a different bottle of saline. I said, "What are you doing?" She says, "What do you mean?" I said, "You have your own saline?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Why?" She says, "You never close the bottle."
Oh.
We've never discussed this.
Yeah.
She goes, "I also have my own toothpaste."
Squeeze the tube.
Be a normal person and just talk to me about this stuff? I'm like, I would close the cap. like you just do. I go, what else do you have that I don't know about? Like what is this? I don't know, but I guess the big things where I guess we're on the same page.
No, I think so. I mean, it's amazing that you didn't have to persuade her to move to Mexico, for instance.
She was thinking she was going to have to persuade me, I guess. Same thing. We were both like,
now,
I think I want to do this.
What's the residency rule? Do you have to spend a certain amount of time back here in the States? Or?
I mean, we have residency now. We have residency. We're not citizens. So we can be there as long as we want.
Okay.
There are no limits.
And how does the United States feel about that, or do they care?
They're ambivalent.
As long as you pay your taxes here,
so
they
far.
don't care. Do you have taxes
No,
in
I mean,
Mexico too?
legally you have to have a home, and you have to pay. Well, you have to pay taxes, right? So we pay taxes in this state and in the United States, obviously.
That's not good.
So that doesn't change.
Right. But you
I don't
pay
know what
taxes
our
in Mexico
property
too?
taxes are going to be in this place, but in the house they were like $8,000 a year, and in Mexico they're $35 a year. So it's a slightly different scale. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Richard, have you always lived in BC, or are you?
No, I was born in New Zealand.
Oh, that's right. You're a New Zealander.
Yeah, I've had 2 passports. I have the choice of countries. In fact, that's why I'm always down there, right? As I'm visiting family.
You have family.
And I love that place.
You have a sheep farm down there.
Yeah.
Now wired for Wi-Fi.
Those are cows.
I'm surprised you don't know the difference, Leo.
Yeah.
Cows and sheep. They're all the same to me.
My family are part of the Ohoiti settlers group outside of Tauranga. And I was born on Ohoiti Road, so I am literally part of that settlers group. So, but my it's a crazy story of how we even got there. There's this sort of realization once you know this story of my families of why I travel so much. My father's family were Scottish Campbells that moved to Wales after the crisis with the Douglases, and then immigrated to Saskatchewan. Where they were wheat farmers, as everybody is. My grandmother, my father's mother, did not want to be a farmer's wife. So she did the only thing you could do in that era, which was she was a school teacher.
I like you. I just don't like what you are.
Yeah, there you go. And so she married a man who also didn't want to be a farmer. He was a jack of all trades. He was a carpenter and a mechanic and so forth. And she would get teaching jobs, and then they'd pack up the family and go. So they made their way out of Saskatchewan, made it to British Columbia. And then she got an offer to run the English department for the Tauranga Girls' School in New Zealand. And so they took it, packed their 4 kids up, took a boat for 6 weeks, and went down to New Zealand. I have the paid newspaper clipping of the new head of the English department arriving in Tauranga in the 50s. And they stayed down there for more than 10 years. And then at some point, their kids grew up in New Zealand, and at some point they decided, well, I'm not going to renew my contract. Let's do something new. That they'd always done this to travel, right? And they decided they liked British Columbia best, so they decided they're going to go back to British Columbia. Basically, announced it to the kids. Well, the kids that my father had arrived there as an 11-year-old. Now he was 21, and he didn't want to leave. Neither did any of the others. His sisters all married off good Kiwis, and so. That's one way to get all the kids out of the house all at once, right? Move to a different hemisphere. So my grandfather moved back to BC, and my father married a Kiwi and had me. And then they came up when I was 3 to show me off as the first grandchild of the generation, and they never left.
Well,
nice.
Yeah. The mother story's even weirder. That's the normal one.
That's the normal one.
That's the normal one. The weird one is my maternal grandmother was the eldest of 6 kids that grew up on a Malaysian rubber plantation. Her grandfather had stolen rubber plants from Brazil and escaped with them. There's a diary entry for a meal where he says, "Left Brazil precipitously." And
was he being chased?
Yes, because it was illegal to take latex plants out of Brazil. They knew that was their important product. This is what's going to make rubber, right?
Right.
And
was he going to grow it in New Zealand?
He grew it in Malaysia quite successfully. Was a wealthy plantation owner. So my grandmother grew up with servants. Her mother was a wealthy plantation owner's daughter and had married this somewhat ne'er-do-well. He was a game warden. He shot elephants to keep them off the rubber plants. And but then when World War II is starting and the Japanese are working their way on the Malay Peninsula, the father goes off to fight in the war and dies. And the mother and the kids get packed off to England by ship. And they were, of course, being, well-to-do, spoke multiple languages, well-traveled, well-educated. So they get evacuated to England just in time for the Battle of Britain. Wow. And so my grandmother, my grandmother's multilingual, so she goes to work for the BBC, arguably for intelligence translating documents. And my Uncle Ray.
Did you say arguably or allegedly?
Yeah, arguably. It's likely, but my grandmother was always cagey about it.
She didn't say what she did.
She never really said. But if I tell you a story, you're like, shh. She had access to a lot of information.
She's like, I'm no Julia Childs or anything, but
anyway, the youngest Uncle Theo, who I've met, who's 6 years old when they arrive in England and gets put into school, gets into a schoolyard fight, as you do as a new kid, chews out the kid in German.
Oh boy, that's not a good.
Jawohl, mein Herr.
All the little kids are rounded up out of the school. They grab the mother. They put them in an internment camp. And my Uncle Ray, who had been working in a factory, comes home.
Ironic.
To find they're not there and asks around. And he too gets picked up, put in a different internment camp. And my grandmother, Mona, is smart enough to say, what happened to those people? Apparently they were German sympathizers. So she goes back to the BBC and says, hey, my home's been blown up and everybody's dead. Can I stay here? And so they put her up in the single women's dorm. And she, just kissed her mother goodbye to go to work, and now they're gone. Of course, the internment camps all get evacuated in 1940, and they disperse them out to the colonies, which is why they end up in New Zealand. My grandmother doesn't know this, but she somehow finds out. So again, we talk about maybe she was involved in intelligence, that they've been evacuated to New Zealand. And the only way she can get to New Zealand is to get deployed as a nurse. So she trained during the war, gets trained as a nurse and gets deployed on a hospital ship in 1945. And so by the time she gets to the Pacific, the war ends. And the ship just is going to turn around and go back to England, but they make a stop in Australia. So she gets off in Australia, still hasn't made it back home. But now they're celebrating, meets a guy, things happen. And by the time she gets to Australia and says hello, by the time she gets to New Zealand to say hi to her mother after 6 years, she's pregnant with my mother.
Wow. This is a family story. This
is a family story.
It wasn't a family secret. It was a family story.
It was pretty secretive, but as people get older, it becomes
you'll learn the story. Yeah,
a little more casual. Anyway, at the point where I realized the amount of travel my extended family, all of my family's done, it's like, well, gee, no wonder. Like, what the heck was I going to do?
They were all travelers.
But it means that I'm only second generation Kiwi. My mother was born in New Zealand, but her mother wasn't, and I was, and now we're in BC.
So actually, my father lived in England for 8 or 9 years, and then spent the rest of his career living in South Africa, Japan, Brazil, until there were kidnapping threats. He had to get out of there, but doing the lighting thing, but usually outside of the country.
Yeah.
So I look like a stay-at-home dad compared to both these guys. But
yeah, it's really interesting. You both have
still very well traveled.
Yeah, but compared to most people, but not compared to you guys.
And this is when traveling was a little harder. I mean, today it's not such a big deal, but I mean, that was, you had to take boats and stuff. I mean, it was a significant thing.
I envy younger people today because it's so easy to do. Like what we're doing now in our 50s was not possible in our 20s, not really. Right. And there are tons of people doing it now. I mean, it's really easy.
Are there a lot of Americans in your neighborhood?
Yeah, too many.
Yeah. You don't want that.
No.
You didn't come here to hang out with Americans.
I didn't come here to be with you people. But you're our people. Shut up.
They're asking about being Canadian and a Kiwi. But they're both Commonwealth countries, so you both worship the same king.
Worship?
So we got to have something on the money. Goodness knows we don't want it to be Alexander Hamilton. So.
That's good. I was just looking.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
I was looking at my 50s, and they have Andrew Jackson on them.
Yeah, Andrew Jackson. There you go.
Not exactly a paragon of virtue by any means.
Old Hickory.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the 20. The 50 is Ulysses S. Grant, who, granted, was a good general, who was a corrupt
when he wasn't
hell
drunk.
president. Yeah, he was a terrible president.
Right.
So, great. The Andrew Jackson and U.S. Grant. Let's celebrate them.
The other angle is similar between Canadians and Kiwis is the Kiwis have a very close relationship with Australia to the point where there's work agreements between the two countries and so forth.
Oh, nice. So you
and
go back
Canada has this relationship with the U.S., right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Except occasionally y'all seem to go a little
Not so
nuts.
much now.
Yeah. It's a little difficult at the moment.
I think the Katy Perry Mr. Trudeau thing is going to
I don't think it was
iron
Katy
this
Perry.
right
I
out.
think
There'll
it
be
was
a marriage that will unite us.
Whatever.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah. We'll be united in song anyway.
I don't know the answer to that, but anyway, it's all an interesting dynamic. And I just spent a month down there with the grandbaby.
Yeah.
And the familiarity is very clear.
Interesting.
And the same way, if you're not sure if someone's a Canadian or American, it's best to just ask them if they're Canadian, because the Canadian will be pleased and the American will be amused. If you're not sure if someone's an Aussie or a Kiwi, just ask if they're a Kiwi, because if it's a Kiwi, they'll be pleased, and if it's an Aussie, they'll be amused.
But don't ask a Kiwi if they're an Australian, because they'll
insulting. Correct you quickly, and vice versa.
Yeah. Interesting. It's like France and Belgium.
Yeah.
Actually,
nobody picks.
That's a pretty bitter.
Nobody picks the Belgians. Yeah. I was just with a bunch. So there were several Belgians speaking in Lithuania as well. They're easy to tease. They're the country that went without a government for 3 years and barely anybody noticed.
Nobody noticed. You know what? That's an interesting thought. I wonder how that would be for us.
How strange, really.
Yeah.
Just let the system operate.
Don't really need that, do you?
But
People, I think, want to know more about you guys. By the way, somebody's saying, why aren't you wearing these brown Zune Microsoft sweater?
yeah, I haven't been able to get one. I've been home.
I was asking my wife about this. I have a Microsoft sweater
Very
somewhere
hip,
here,
yeah.
but we couldn't find it. So she gave me this pile of Christmassy things I could try.
This is a forever sweater. It's
That's the
Clippy
greatest
said,
sweater of the
Happy
bunch.
holidays.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
so
classic.
glad I got this one. I remember Chris Caposello used to join us. By the time he was on,
he always had whatever.
but he always had it, but it was always sold out by the time he came on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Apparently,
they're consistently a hit, right? They do
the
very
sweaters, according to Kevin
And
King,
see,
of course,
Microsoft, people say Microsoft's not popular with consumers. I don't know. They could go to clothing; they'd be fine.
maybe they should just do swag. Forget the hardware and software.
Remember all this terrible
look at all the
crap we made
different
that
ones
you
they
hated,
have.
but now you think it's funny? Yeah, it's on. Now it's on sweaters.
Now it's sweaters. It'll be available through the Microsoft Company Store, the Redmond Company Store in Seattle, and the Microsoft Experience Center in New York City. So you can run over to the Microsoft Experience Center and experience a sweater.
Okay. We used to do live shows in there. That's the former Microsoft store there.
I remember we did a live show there, yeah.
From that
When they
period
had
where stores
HoloLens. They had the
seemed like-
HoloLens demos there.
Yeah.
You and Mary Jo went in the back.
I know where my HoloLens is. I'm going to put it on the shelf behind me in my office when I get
should.
back there.
You should.
Yeah,
That's
just
a
a display. If
yeah. If
I don't
had a
think it
Vision
holds a
Pro,
charge
that's-
anymore.
Yeah. No, exactly.
It's an old device.
I guess I should ask you, like, your favorite
Color.
Microsoft product.
Oh boy.
Do you have a favorite?
Those are hard.
Tell me it's Loop.
My earliest understanding of Microsoft was really negative because I had
You're an
Commodore
Amiga
computers.
guy.
They did the BASIC. I hated it. On the Commodore 64, there was like a super expanded cartridge that like turned BASIC into something pretty good. The Amiga, garbage BASIC. It was terrible. So I really didn't respect Microsoft a lot, but it was Office, whatever. I think it was Office 6, essentially, whatever, right before Windows 95. My wife was at a company that had like early access to this thing, and I was really impressed by that. And then I got into the writing and stuff, and I was on a lot of the betas for things like Windows 95 and Office 95 and MSN and whatever was happening at that Plus 95, whatever. And I thought that was where they started to pick up a little bit of, I don't know what you call it, good design, good software. Like it seemed like it was good software. NT4 especially was a big leap for me. I
remember the first time I saw 3.1.1. I was a Mac guy from '84. I had used DOS and PCs before that, and did not really think much of Windows 1 or Windows 2 or even Windows 3.
Nobody did.
But when I saw 3.1.1, I remember vividly. I was doing a show with Paul, John C.
It was
Dvorak
like
at the
Windows
time.
for Workgroups, and then whatever the second Windows for Workgroups.
Windows for Workgroups.
They had the 32-bit file access, 32-bit, I think it was 32-bit memory access as well. You had to turn these things on. But it had the guts of what was going to be Windows 95 without that new UI. And that seemed like they were on a good path.
I had an epiphany. I remember looking at it and saying, this is actually good. This is like
Yes,
Apple's
exactly.
in trouble.
That's what I mean. Like, so you, like me, I think before that didn't disrespected what everything they did.
Right.
Was not impressed. And then you have that moment where you're like, oh, they're starting to grow up a little bit here. Like,
To the point where I preferred DR-DOS to MS-DOS, that kind of thing.
yeah.
I think the first Microsoft product that made me money was their Professional Basic before Visual Basic came out. So in the 1980s.
In between
I was
QBasic
mostly-
and Visual Basic.
And the GW
Yeah.
Basic.
GW,
Yeah,
that's
They
right.
had,
Yeah, in that window. But I remember the box was like their Professional Basic.
because they had there was one that was built into DOS, but then you could buy one where you could actually compile the programs, right, and turn them into EXEs.
So it's a real programming
robust.
language.
But back then, though, but Turbo Pascal was amazing.
Turbo Pascal was awesome.
That was
mind-boggling.
just way better than
Well, I
we
was
had on the
mostly
Mac-
working in DBase, but these guys had an IBM PC and they didn't want DBase.
No,
I wrote a
that was
giant
good call.
DBase 2 program
DBase was terrible.
on CPM on a North Star Advantage computer.
Right.
That must have been 83 or 84. Mid-80s.
I had North Star Advantage. Those were great machines, man.
Great. It was vector
Talking about
graphics.
S100 bus.
I convinced, North Star was famous for their S100s. I convinced, I was working at a radio station in San Jose, KLOK. I couldn't afford anything like that, but I convinced the boss, we need a computer.
Right. Nice.
And for a while, we looked at a thing from a company called Fortune that was an 8088 or probably 8086, or maybe even, no, actually would have been a Z80 based multi-user system, one Z80, multiple users, because I thought for the business that'd be good. But I managed, for some reason, somehow I got him to get a North Star Advantage, and then I wrote a large program in DBase 2 for keeping track of music playlists. Yeah. And it did graphs on the screen because the North Star had...
Did you call it Napster? And that was the real story of that.
And then I got sued by Lars Ulrich and everything changed.
Yeah,
I was able to draw graphs on the screen because the North Star Advantage had vector graphics. And I made him this beautiful thing where, because he would, every week, he would look at all the charts, they'd open the Billboard and all the charts and he actually had the 45s and they'd put them on and he'd listen to them and decide what the playlist was going to be. Mm-hmm. This is weird because he was the owner, he was the general manager, but he loved doing that. And I thought, well, I'm going to make this really easy for him. His name was Bill Weaver. He was kind of a legend at the time in the radio business. And I made this beautiful thing. So you don't have to look, Bill, you don't have to look at the magazines or anything. I'm going to show you the charts, how the record's going on the graph, where its position is, what's, all this stuff. And he never used it. Yeah. But it was beautiful. I was very proud of that.
A lot of people are just born on the edge of different eras and they can't make that transition.
No, he liked the way he did it. He didn't need it.
Like when we got like an Intellivision whenever that came out, and my dad really wanted to play this thing, but he was just never going to be able to do it. Like he just couldn't get there.
But you
it was just
did,
the wrong generation.
You did.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you downplaying? What was your favorite game?
On the Intellivision?
Yeah.
It depends, right? Like, so Sea Battle was amazing.
It's got to be hockey.
No, it's definitely not
hockey on the Intellivision.
No,
you
baseball.
Could knock the
Baseball
boards.
was amazing. Football, NFL football was amazing. My brother had this trick play where he would throw the pass on the upper sideline, so the ball was white, the line was white, and the ball would be, and you couldn't see it. So his receiver would run over to the far end of the field, catch it, and it would go because it had that white noise fan thing.
Yeah.
And they'd run it.
That was all the noise it could do. It wasn't. Yeah. It was very limited. This was, believe it or not, Mattel. This is when toy companies made video game systems.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
If a guy skated straight at you on the upper boards, and you hit him with your stick just right, he would flip over the boards.
Nice.
My grandmother was over one time sitting in the den. My brother and I were playing Utopia, Sea Battle, one of those cartridges. And after a while, she says, "I don't like this show. Could you change the channel?" So we just put a different cartridge in. This is so abusive.
Grandma.
She had no idea what she was looking at,
Look at this. They had a voice synthesis module.
Yep, we had that.
Did you have one? IntelliVoice?
B-17 Bomber. Yeah.
Oh my God. And the joystick was attached by the same kind of cable you use on a phone in your kitchen.
Yep. It was hardwired too in the first one.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, ridiculous. Well, I guess they didn't have wireless.
Yeah.
That does not.
Well, they didn't. It wasn't detachable. I mean, you couldn't replace it, easily.
Right. It's hardwired.
They fixed
in.
that eventually, but
Unless you were, like Richard,
like Richard.
champion with a soldering
Richard would have rewired it, but
Yeah, but if you had those pop pads, once they wore out, they were wore out.
they were
You had to-
terrible.
which is why you would have to replace them. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wore out.
Just
Speaking of
terrible.
the North Stars, after the Advantage, there was a machine called the Dimension, and I became a reseller of that in the
Really?
80s. Yeah, when just out of high school, because it ran NetWare and MS-DOS, and it had an 8186 as the central processor. So it's a multi
no mainstream computers had
workstation, machine. So you could have, I think it was up to 5 or 6 consoles attached to this one machine.
Yeah, like the one
With good
186.
You'd have the 186 was the server processor, and then you could have 8086 boards for each of the workstations, all inside of the one chassis. That was a hell of a machine. I made a lot of money. It was good business.
You know their original name?
Before North Star?
Yeah, Kentucky Fried Computer.
I love it.
They got
So
sued.
great.
I was going to say,
Yeah, I can imagine.
That one didn't last, huh?
They had to change the name.
So they changed the next name was Alabama, and they were like, "Yeah, you're not doing that one
It's
either."
not going to work. No.
Kentucky Fried Computer. I actually remember that name. But they made a nice system. But all those companies are gone, aren't they? I mean,
They're all gone, yeah.
even DEC,
they're all
even
custom
digital is
hardware.
gone. I mean,
This is the inevitable consolidation that happens in any industry, right? And this is what we're going to see with all the AI nonsense that is happening now. We have 3,000 companies doing AI things, and eventually it's just going to be 3 again. It's going to be the same 3 we're all really happy with, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But
Advantage came out in
definitely gonna
82 and the Dimension in 84. So I guess that was 82 when I did that. This was actually a pretty impressive computer. 4 megahertz Z80, 64 kilobytes of RAM, which is a lot in those days. 20 KB of graphics RAM.
wow, dedicated
And-
graphics.
You got an expansion board for it, so you could run a PC DOS on it.
Yeah. It had an 88. Boy, you have a good memory. 88, a coprocessor that ran MS-DOS 1.
I didn't have a PC until 93.
When you had to boot off the A drive. So I was configuring those. You remember they had the 2 5 1/4 bays in them?
Right.
So I'd take one of the 5 1/4s out and put a Shugart 5 megabyte drive in it. And then you had to boot off the A drive. So I would boot off the floppy to configure the hard drive and then rewire it to make the hard drive the A drive so you could boot off the hard drive.
You could boot that.
Dude, I made so much. That made me
drives-
a bucket of money. That was a good
By the time
business.
I had like a Commodore Amiga 500, they had like PC MCIA drives that were, credit card size roughly. And I had a 20 megabyte drive. I think it was my first hard drive. And today you couldn't download an MP3 that was smaller than that. Like, like they're like an
I know.
MP3 file. They're all bigger than that. Like
The double-sided,
crazy how
double
storage has
density
changed.
floppies on the North Star Advantage were 360 kilobytes.
Yeah. No, you were a god with that.
I wanted
think the Amiga
a
was-
C compiler for it.
I bet it
and
was 360. It was
there was
something
no
like
way
that. It
you
was
could
half-
run it. I bought White Star C, and you had to bootstrap it up. So it gave you the kernel, and you had to build all the libraries and everything. And there was no way you could run it on floppies. So I must have had some sort of persuasive powers. I got Bill to buy me that 5 megabyte Winchester drive.
Yeah. The Shugart drive.
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much it
I had
was?
a RAM drive.
I think it was
for
$1,000
The Amiga. For the Apple IIgs that had to have been this size. Like it was just a
4K RAM drive.
Yeah.
I'll never forget going into a computer store, listening to somebody saying, well, what you really want is 8 megabytes of RAM. Because then you can have a 2 megabyte RAM drive. 2
The
megabytes
Amiga
for the
3000
operating
was out. I was in the Amiga store and I heard the guy saying, "You need all the megs."
all the
And like
megs.
at the time, all the megs was 5
4.
megs.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Like that's what you
so
could have.
many megs.
5 megs. That was
Kids-
all the megs.
Kids today, you don't remember. You don't know.
Yep, all the
You don't
megs.
know how we suffered.
All the
We
megs.
suffered.
I had talking about making money off of a PC. My wife got an IBM PS1, right, for Sears.
Nice.
She couldn't figure out how to launch WordPerfect. So I sat down at the computer. I typed WP didn't launch. I'm like, I don't understand your problem. And she's like, well, at work we have this menu. I just choose. She didn't know how to use it. So I bought a book on MS-DOS batch programming. Programming. It's not programming. And I was like, this is so quaint. Because I had like Amigas at the time. I was like, this is a joke. But I wrote this front end thing so she could launch whatever apps and she could modify it so like she could change what the programs were and how to launch and whatever. So a friend of ours worked at this. No, I'm sorry. A friend of ours moved to Phoenix at the same time we did, and he had bought a computer from another friend of ours who had his own company, and he had a 46. So I was super impressed by this computer. I only had like a 386 SX, whatever. So I'm over his house one day, and I boot it up, and it booted up to my program. I'm like, Lou, where did you get this? and a friend had stolen this from me, and he sold it on his computers. And I'm like, dude, what is this? Never told me.
This is this was the thing that everybody looked at.
Yeah.
I remember.
Well, because you would pull
I remember
the screen
standing up and cheering for this.
Yeah, it's just multitasking.
Because it had sound too. Like it made
Yeah,
a
it does the boinging sound. But the point was, the OS was you could bring up the window and there were other things running at the same time.
Yeah.
This was inconceivable.
It's a miracle.
In 1985.
Yeah.
Yeah, inconceivable.
Yeah. That's from the Amiga History channel on YouTube.
Clearly made with Movie Maker in 2003 or something. With that terrible video. But
oh, man.
Yeah, those
was
were
the greatest thing we'd ever seen. Standing ovation immediately.
I had this Genlock thing. It was a camera mounted vertically on a stand, and you put a photo on it, and it had the color wheel with the 3 colors. You would scan it each time, and then it would turn it into a single image that would be color. And this process took about 40 minutes. To scan like one photo. And I'm sure it was like 320 by 240 at the end of the day, whatever it was. But it was amazing at the time. I mean, couldn't do that stuff on a Mac or a PC.
At a time when the IBM PC was CGA with all 16 colors.
Right.
Yeah.
So that demo that everybody
have that.
saw and gave a standing O to was at CES in Las Vegas. And I'm not sure what years that would have been. What do you 80s, right?
Well, for the Amiga 1000 came out in 1985.
Yeah.
85.
So I'm sure I saw it in Vancouver. I wasn't going to CES, but they were touring it around.
What was your first?
They launched it in New York at some big gala event with Blondie what's that guy's name?
Devo,
the artist.
Lou Reed.
Everyone's famous for 15 Minutes. That guy, or
that guy. Yeah.
Whatever he is.
I remember him.
Anyway, they were
blinded
lucky
me
this
with
thing didn't crash.
science. Thomas Dolby.
Oh, yeah, he was probably really into this stuff. Yeah.
Do you remember your first computer trade show?
I think I went to a database conference in Seattle in 85.
No, that's early. I went to a World of Amiga.
I remember the Windows 95
not for work. I mean, just like as a person.
Day. That was pretty good in 1995. I remember
Start
that.
me up, right?
And I
went to Comdex. Maybe it was probably or PC.
My first Comdex was around 91 or 92 in Vegas, and Gina Smith brought me. We were both working for Ziff Davis at the time. And I was very excited. I'd never been to maybe I'd been to a SIG.
Oh yeah, no, I carted around 10 pounds of paper. Everyone was giving up
they give you
pieces
bags, and they load you up with material.
Flyers.
The
plane couldn't leave because everyone had 20 pounds of paper with them.
Eventually, they had a FedEx in the lobby there, and you would just bring your box of paper, say, ship that back home. So I could throw it out in
the first time I checked into this crappy hotel the only thing we could afford in Vegas for the first Comdex.
Circus.
No, it was
$30.
No, it
comes with free chlamydia.
I've stayed at Circus. This was actually worse. It was the New Orleans theme one, whatever it was.
Oh yeah, that riverboat.
And they handed me the key card for the room, and it was like it had OS2 logos on it, and I handed it back. I said, "Do you have a Windows version of this?"
Nice.
Was that? It was Debbie Reynolds.
It was like nice.
Didn't it become Debbie? It was the Orleans, and then it became the Debbie Reynolds Hotel.
I think it was the Orleans. Yeah, it was terrible.
This was where the MGM
Circus
Grand had just opened, and Ziff Davis had a long-term deal with MGM to house its many hundreds of people that they would send to Comdex every year at there, and it was pretty cool. That was when it was a Wizard of Oz hotel, and Frank Baum's grandson would sit in the lobby all day, every day, signing Wizard of Oz books. It was so
crazy.
And they had
related to the guy that wrote these stories.
Yeah, it was his, but it was not him. It was his like.
No, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not even the guy.
I'm not even the guy, but I'm going to sign
I have
it.
the same last name. Yeah.
Exactly. It was
like
grandpa.
I do that for Henry David Thoreau. I show up in like
Sure.
Woburn or whatever that is in
Old-fashioned
Massachusetts.
clothes. Yeah, sign some books. Make some hickory furniture. Anyway, we stayed there for several years. Then I could tell Ziff Davis was starting to, kind of tighten the belt. We stayed at the Luxor.
Yep.
And that's the hotel that's the
I
pyramid.
stayed there too. Same. Yep.
And there's rooms in the sides of it where the wall of
triangular at the top.
the
where
wall
the windows
of the
are
room.
Like most of the
like
room
that.
is unusable because it's a triangle of space.
It's horrible.
Yeah. I know, it's the stupidest design.
It's horrible. And then finally, at the end, when I think it was probably ZD TV and they were trying to sell it, we stayed at Circus Circus. And I knew we'd really come to the end of the line because
I was in line at Circus Circus and to eat breakfast at the buffet thing. And there's a TV every 10 feet that it's like this clown comes and he's like, oh, if you guys come back,
play some Keno.
I'm like, what fresh hell? I'm like, I have to get out of here. And I started moving forward in the line. This woman goes, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm really hungry. Like, I got to get out of here. I'm like,
I gotta get out of here. I can't take clown.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
I knew we were in a dump when I noticed that not only was the lamp bolted to the bedside table, so you wouldn't take it.
Yes.
So was the remote control for the TV.
Nice.
It was in a little metal
You bring a black
case.
metal thing. It would have looked like a crime scene.
Bolted.
In there, you know?
It was like a crime scene, and it swiveled, so at least it was a little more convenient. You can swivel. It's like, what a dump.
What's the Excalibur where it's like wallpaper that looks like the wall of a dungeon, but it's just flat and terrible looking. That was for a long time. Like almost everything in Vegas was terrible,
cheesy as hell. That was the King Arthur place across
Excalibur,
from MGM Grand.
Ridiculous.
All of those places, I think, are mostly gone, right? I mean, I think it's kind of more upscale now. Vegas was a kind of dumpy place.
It was kitschy and terrible.
But it was inexpensive, and now it's not.
Well, that was the funny thing is because they were gambling was what supported them. The drinks were free. All you can eat for $1.50.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really changed.
That is not
now.
the way anymore.
Not the way anymore. They realized we can make money on gambling and everything else, including parking.
I think I stayed at Excalibur. It was the show. I arrived really late. It was like 1:00 in the morning. It would have been CS by this point. And I had to wait in line for like 45 minutes just to get into the room. And there was all these people checking at the same time.
Yeah.
So when I finally got up to the desk, I at that time booked it through like Expedia or some stupid third-party service. And the bill was basically double what I had been quoted. I'm like, what is this? And they went through the list. It was all these additional fees, like room fee, Vegas fee, whatever.
Not paying attention fee.
Thursday fee, like whatever it was. And so the next day I met with Terry Morrison and he was telling me about, at the time it was called Windows 10 Cloud, but it was what became Windows 10S, and they were going to charge for it. If you wanted to get out of it to get back to normal Windows. And I was like, Terry, this is exactly what just happened to me at this hotel last night. You can't do this to people. I'm like, this is what happened. Like, you find out about it after the fact. This is the worst possible user experience. And he literally laid back in his chair, like it was one of those chairs that goes back, and he's looking up at the ceiling, and he was like, it went on for like 12 seconds. And he's like, we're not doing that. I'm like, thank you. Because I was like, that is a huge that's going to be bad. Because people you don't want to screw them after the fact. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you don't make them buy the computer and then be like, oh, surprise, there's another $50 charge.
Upcharge. Yeah. Good. Terrible. So you had some influence on them. Is that the last time
they weren't already angry enough with you?
Is that the last time they listened to you, Paul? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, actually, because I haven't really had any influence over anyone since then. The first time I met with Panos Panay, he locked the door behind me and he's like, I needed to tell me exactly who leaked you the information about whatever the Surface 2 stuff. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. It was like a mob meeting. I'm like, What are you talking about?
Are you going to beat me up?
I'm like, I don't think you understand how the press works. I'm not telling you who my source is. Well, like, what? Are you crazy?
Was the implication I'm not letting you out until you tell me?
Yeah, it was like this back room. I got a call. It's like, Panos is going to be in Boston at the time they had the Microsoft store. Can you meet him at the store? And I'm like, sure. So I went into town. The guy ushered me into a back room, and then he closed the door closed the other guy out. It was just me and him in the dark, and I'm like, what is going on here? And it was like, he's like, you're going to tell me who did this. I'm like, no, I'm not. And he's like, no, you need to tell me. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm not. That's crazy.
And what are you doing? Like, are you nuts?
He was really upset about it.
How did that resolve itself? Did you say, okay, fine, unlock the door? I mean,
I think he eventually understood somehow through all his gold chains that I wasn't going to say it. I don't know. It was a very strange guy, but
he had a thing for you, didn't he? He took your laptop at one point.
Yeah, we had an up and down is the way I would say it. Mostly down.
You were at a announcement event. He was.
Yeah, I was typing on a laptop, and he picked it up out of my hand and held it up. I don't remember what the point of it was. Held it hostage or something.
It wasn't a Mac. It was a Windows laptop.
No, it was a Surface laptop too. Is what it was.
One of theirs.
Surface laptop.
One of his machines. Yeah.
That's like
the one I leaked. Ironically, no, actually, no, that's not true. It was one of the originals. The Surface 2, literally Surface 2 and Surface Pro 2. So it was later.
Picked it up to make a point of some kind, but it didn't. It felt a little
I'm a good
hostile.
person to make an example of. I screw up a lot. It's fine. It's like I get it.
Didn't Steve Ballmer at one point stomp on an iPhone at a
yeah, he threw some employee's iPhone on the ground. Yeah,
and like a sales event.
Excited.
He was the drama guy. You know, he was through the chair, through the glass wall when
the first
Don
time
Dotra left, went to Google.
First time I met Ballmer, I was walking around. It was probably Comdex at that time, but I was like sort of my day off. I was just walking around as a person. I didn't have any, I wasn't there like dressed up or anything. But I was literally wearing a "Oh my God, you killed Kenny" South Park shirt.
Nice.
And he's standing next to me. He looks down at my shirt. He goes, "Nice shirt." It's like, nice to meet you too. Oh well.
So this was at Safeco Field, a Microsoft company meeting.
Yeah, it was one of those all hands meetings or whatever.
Yeah,
meeting.
Steve comes. You know how he does this, running around, slapping his hands. Woo! Woo! Yeah. And he sees
he would down a pint of honey before he'd go on stage.
No, you're kidding?
For his throat.
Yeah.
What? Oh, for his
that
throat.
was the thing.
Well, the coat his throat.
The coat his throat and a jack him up. And he wanted everybody else to do it too. Like it was a thing.
Not a good thing.
He'd always have this stack of honey.
It gives you the shakes about 5 minutes later. Anyway.
Well, did you see him on stage? Like,
yeah.
Now that you know, it's like,
you know what, though?
He was hyped up on honey.
I still miss the guy.
Whacked up.
He was a good cheerleader for Microsoft.
Oh yeah, he was enthusiastic. I played mini golf with him.
Mini golf with
cheated.
Ballmer?
Yeah, he was going to win at all costs.
And every business unit we talked about, he knew all the leadership, all the business. Like he knew the entire company backwards and forwards.
Yeah, he was detail oriented.
Yeah,
still is. He does he runs the Clippers now into the ground this season, but whatever. But he's a big Excel spreadsheet guy. Like everything.
He likes the stats.
Yeah.
Did he know everybody's shoe model, make and model?
Shoe.
Remember Mary Jo said that Steve Ballmer remembered people's shoes. That was a old salesman's trick for remembering people.
That I don't know.
He would memorize the shoes that they were wearing. I don't know how that would help you. I think it'd be better to memorize their name, but. Oh, hey, Manolo Blahniks, am I right? It doesn't seem like that would be useful. But no, I remember Mary Jo telling us that. She knew every shoe that everybody was wearing. What kind? Who was okay, so is Panos your least favorite Microsoft executive of all time? I don't want to get you in trouble here, but why not?
Oh, Panos.
No.
There's so many worse people than that.
No, that's a hard. There were just people like Julie Lessingren who were just unqualified to be where they were and had no right being there and were awful.
They maybe
he was awful, but he was
just
just
they didn't belong there.
He was just like a marketing guy. He didn't know. I don't know that he knew anything about technology. Like he wasn't a technologist.
Right. Was Ballmer a technologist? He knew technology.
No, but he
was a sales guy.
By being there for so long, and
he'd absorbed.
He understood it. Like
yeah.
Hey, look, he set him down this path that they're on right now. They did. He was the guy. It was like we got to do cloud.
Yeah. He had to go against everything he was arguing for with a Windows-centric company. He knew that, and it's one of the reasons he had to move aside. Was he was an obstacle to the next stage.
Just like Kevin Turners who were like shouldn't have been there. This whatever.
We
Rob Johnson, that guy.
We did a .NET Rocks tour, and they asked us to do a show in Bentonville, which is the craziest damn thing. And several of them came up to me and said, "Hey,
Bentonville, where the
Bentonville,
Walmart,
Arkansas, the headquarters of Walmart." Yeah,
Yeah,
and
right.
and several of the guys came up to us and said, "Hey, when you see those Microsoft guys, thank them for taking Kevin Turner off our hands."
Nice.
Because Kevin Turner
he was
came
a
from
former
Walmart.
Walmart guy.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
qualification enough. I'm satisfied.
This is a hard thing because I care about technology, obviously, and there are guys who are just kind of engineers or technologists who I would just sort of knee jerk like because of what they were, but maybe they weren't the greatest leaders too, you know. And then
People
there are
get
people
over promoted, right?
Yeah, and then there are people who maybe like Ballmer who didn't go into technology but ended up being great at leading that company. And so you can't really, I don't know, you never know. Like, you never know what you're going to get. That's why, like, the jury's still out right now on Pavan Davuluri, but I like what I see so far a lot, you know, but we'll see.
I like that he exists. I like that there's a new unification to Windows. There looks to be a future. Because for a long time there, it's just like Windows was in stasis.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I think that was partly intentional because it takes a long time to convince a company of 200,000 people, hey, we're not a Windows-centric company
Hey, remember
anymore.
the thing we only cared about? Now we don't care about that at all? Yeah.
And the only way we can convince you of that is to utterly paralyze that group while not actually destroying the product and still collecting several billion a year from it.
Right.
You know, that's a tough balance, right? That's the old joke. Unless they have 8 wives and a cocaine habit, they don't need the money.
I mean, in the modern era, there's no version of this for Apple because the iPhone hasn't hit that stage. But it would be like, I still care about the Apple IIe. You know, like it's a tough place to be in today.
Yeah, a lot of people leaving Apple though the last few weeks.
Yeah, there's something going on internally that's got people upset.
Well, I think they've done so well for so long. There's not a lot of what do you call it? Like up. What am I trying
Upside?
to say? There's not a lot of headroom for success. Like,
not a room.
all you can do is be compared against these huge successes they've had. I mean, who's going to succeed?
You really going to make another iPhone? Is that going to be the breakthrough?
No one's been able to do that. So
yeah,
it's hard. It must be hard there to get ahead and
Also,
make a meaningful difference.
A lot of them are in their 60s, so a lot of them are retiring. And they've all made plenty of money, right? They don't need the money anymore.
But that's sort of the truth of all the leadership in all of these companies. Like none of them need the money.
Which always makes me wonder, because what are you doing with your life? I mean, why bother? You're not going to do it again. You're not going to change the world again. You're not,
But this
it's hard
is
to
why
acknowledge that, you know?
Seen Satya jumping so hard on the AI thing. Like, this is the first thing he gets to hang his name on.
Right.
That's happened to Microsoft. And so he's going for it.
Yep. That's I guess every CEO
this will be
has
Satya's
to put
folly, or Satya will be beloved for the rest of history. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, he's number 3, so he has a choice. He's either the next Gates or the next Ballmer. Which one does he want to be? That's his choice.
Yeah.
You'd rather be Ballmer.
I would say he's already.
I don't know.
He's presided over an incredibly successful run.
Yeah. The stock price is through the roof. It's
Ironically,
but that's the
Ballmer
thing,
was
is
the
this-
idea who had the cloud. The guy who had the cloud idea, but Satya came from the cloud.
Yeah.
He was the Azure guy.
Yeah,
So he
sort
can't
of, right?
do
He
so
was also
cloud
Bing.
can't
I
be
mean,
his
let's not
thing.
forget what he really was.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was the Bing guy.
I mean,
Then he became the Azure
Okay, all right. Okay.
And he only became the Azure guy because Bob Moo left, right?
He was the Bing guy. Okay.
Yeah, he was the Bing guy.
we never
then
forget,
Bob
is
Moo
all I'm
left.
saying. Hashtag never forget.
Yeah. And it was him and Guthrie that righted the Azure ship because, Azure was struggling in those first few years.
Yeah. It's just that, for being a CEO, Bill Gates is Bill Gates. I mean, it's unassailable in a sense from what he did at that time, right? For a business. Steve Ballmer, unfortunately, will be known for flatlining the stock price for 10 years plus. But they did great, obviously, under Steve Ballmer as well.
Well, and he kept the company together. He got the consent decree.
He got through that stuff.
Yeah, that was his job, right?
So Satya has led the company during this incredible expansion of financial power. But if you asked any normal person, what do you know Microsoft for? They would all point to stuff from the past. They have no idea what any of this stuff is, and it's a curious. We don't know what that legacy is yet. We'll see. But
That's normal. We're watching the football game the other day, and Lisa's ex-husband comes over to watch the games with us, which is, we're
not awkward. Yeah.
Not awkward at all.
Yep, got it.
And he says, "What's this AWS? I keep seeing ads for AWS.
That's amazing.
And I have to think that's got to be what most people are going.
Yeah.
What? I keep seeing ads for
Right.
AWS. What is it?
It's the most profitable business that Amazon has by far.
Oh yeah,
Right.
But nobody. But
Consistently.
and so Lisa
too.
says it's some networking thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Nobody knows.
It's plumbing. It's just infrastructure.
If I were to
and
say
that's
it's the
thing.
cloud, that would be like, well, that's
it's electricity.
helpful. Yeah. It's
For
air.
developers, basically.
It's the next utility. It's compute on demand.
It's
That's the
what the
thing.
whole
So-
internet is.
Grasp
It's
what
the
it is.
internet, right? It really
You're
is
asking
what it
people
is.
to know, remember the names of executives at electrical companies.
Yeah.
And because their companies did great for 10 years. And you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Satya Nadella, that's kind of what Microsoft is.
We remember Jack Welch's name. We don't forget his name.
Yeah.
I
But
have
have
a
you
great
read his book? Because Satya Nadella's book is terrible by comparison.
No. I haven't read Jack
but-
Welch's book. I'm reading a great book about GE, the history of GE, and mostly about Jack Welch. And it's really
But all of that is at the end of his career, right? Nadella's book is the one he put out first to sort of position himself as the yoga CEO, right? The warm, cuddly, we're all going to get along CEO.
Right.
Which then Dark Satya showed up and everything's different now.
Well, you
is
gotta be
there
true to
any
your soul, I
CEO
guess.
book that's really any good?
Only at the end of their career, right?
Yeah,
Like
because
why
they
was
can't
well-
talk.
well-
They can't tell. They can't say.
Well,
that's why I don't
Andy
like
Brock's
to
book,
do CEO
only the
interviews.
And they have
Paradise
to have a
Survivor,
win.
whatever.
Like they have to have pulled something off, right?
Right.
Like Welch did the turnaround of GE, and that's
Right.
the book that everybody remembers.
The problem
him
is
for.
when you're successful, you write a book, you don't, or someone writes a book about you, but you've done this thing and it's great, but you're never repeating it. So I'm not sure what the lesson to learn here is exactly. No one followed these people and did their own amazing things and they never did anything else either. So I don't know. We're all looking for that magic formula or whatever, but whatever happens to Microsoft or any of these other companies, if they're successful or not, it's going to be something we don't even know about right now. So, I'm not sure what lesson we can learn from them other than they got really lucky. Right place, right time,
which is the most likely.
Yeah. Which is how I feel about you guys.
No, right people at the right time.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I don't think we need to belabor the point. It is New Year's Eve. Everybody who's watching is wondering what the hell happened here. This is not your usual Windows Weekly because, first of all, A, we don't want to make anybody work on New Year's Eve, right? And B, there isn't going to be a whole lot of news on the day before a new year begins.
No, I mean, enjoy the 2-week break between Windows updates always happening. So we'll have that little bit of time off. That will be fun.
Is this week
pretend
D?
Copilot
Are we in
is
week
not a
D?
thing. Week D.
Yeah.
It's the longest week D in the calendar. Just enjoy that.
Just live it up. I'm really glad to spend some time with you guys, just talking about stuff. So many great stories. Any final wishes you wish to send along to all our winners and dozers on the TWiT broadcast?
You're all winners in my eyes, guys.
Nice.
Well, except for you, Kev Brower. You're kind of no kidding. I love Kevin. Thank you,
Kevin.
thank all of
Really,
you, but,
we should thank Kevin King, who is the producer of this show, and most of the time
Somehow
edits
keeps the
it.
stuff together.
Yeah, he's going to have a fun time editing this, taking out all of the stories we don't want anybody to know about.
The unsung hero, who is now hopefully being
swear
sung a little
words.
bit.
All the drunk. I was really hoping you guys would get just sloshed, and we could.
It takes a little longer than that. I'm doing my best.
You're way too disciplined.
Yeah. Speaking of which, look me up over here. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Way too pickled.
slacker.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
haven't been. So this was from last week's Windows Weekly. Your Pennsylvania whiskey pick.
The Pennsylvania whiskey pick because I was in Pennsylvania, so I need.
I
to
actually
pick a
was
whiskey.
trying to find, and I couldn't in the liquor closet. We must have drunk it all up. Our local Petaluma whiskey, Griffo.
Yeah,
It's actually pretty good.
Griffo.
Griffo.
Take it out
I'll
for
find a
spin.
bottle, and then you can come up to the attic.
Yeah, I will. That sounds like fun.
Richard Campbell, are
Petaluma.
you doing a Run as Radio end of the year thing?
Oh yeah. Well, I think the last show of the year is going to be Paul and I a little drunk.
Okay.
Doing a happy Christmas thing. And then I always lead off the year with the sort of, okay, what's it like going to be a system in 2026?
Oh, yeah.
which I've been taking a lot of notes on.
What will be
There's a lot of saying no to AI.
Yeah, I don't think
I
think the bubble bursts next year.
Yeah.
And so just how do you position yourself to deal with that?
I mean, Gartner just came up with this report and said, do not install any AI browsers.
Nice.
Like any
Well,
of them.
that's true. But
Yeah.
I think you would, if you were a business and you aren't using AI, you're missing the bet, aren't you?
You're
But it's a
worrying
hard, this
that
is
you
a hard
are.
thread to, or needle to thread, I guess, is you want to give up all your data?
Yeah.
Well,
Or
you have
wanna
to do
hope
it
that your employees are smart, your controls are good.
Yeah, you have to do it intelligently.
This is a tough one. This is early days.
Yeah.
I do feel like AI is an advantage for business intelligence, if nothing else, right? Or am I wrong? I'm not a business guy. I don't know.
Because generative AI was useful for business intelligence long before we labeled it with the
Right.
LLMs.
Right.
So, that part's still there.
It makes good infographics. It's good at summarizing things. And if you can do that graphically, it's fantastic. I mean,
The bigger issue here is how hard is the S&P 500 being corrected by 30% going to be on everybody, right? We're back to a
say
sort of
that.
hunker down moment.
2008, 2029, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, there's a real consensus about that, but I'm not convinced, only because I feel like there's genuine value being created. This stuff
Without
is
a doubt.
Imagine.
But there was
this is internet.
genuine
This
value
is-
being created in the web in
This is
2002,
.com bubble stuff.
right?
Like everything that occurred there we're still using it, but there was an inevitable, well, I don't know, inevitable.
Change in
but
economics.
There was a bit of a
What
correction.
caused the .com collapse, the 2008 collapse? In
AOL.
your opinion? AOL.
Yeah, there were, but also you now had investors that had gotten in 95, 96, and it had been 5 years, and they weren't seeing the returns.
Right.
And at some point, they if you've been taking money from other people to invest in these companies, you're expected to show a return, and so you hit this threshold where you have to tell folks that you're not seeing this, and that starts to cascade off.
The only company in history that has had the same sort of impossible possible profit to debt ratio as OpenAI was AOL Time Warner.
Yeah.
And if you look at companies like Amazon that ran for 12 years or 10 years without a profit, or Spotify or Tesla or Uber, little amounts of money, and then you get to OpenAI and it's this giant,
Just massive.
It's 20 to 30 times as big.
But all of those companies were bringing in significant income and investing it, and choosing not to show.
Amazon was always going to be
process.
profitable.
Yeah, it's just they were just grabbing market
OpenAI,
share.
it's like
that's OpenAI's
feels like
gap
a
is
roulette
so
wheel.
enormous, and the only thing you can see is only a bigger gap. Like they're saying things that are crazy.
Yep.
So I expect them to be acquired by somebody.
It's going to be a question of fire sale time or when it happens. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, you were hoping for a soft decline that doesn't seriously damage the market. And if it's not that way, then we hunker down and focus on our fundamentals. Right? And we know what more advice can I give
I
to
love the
administrators?
economic outlook is, look, the plane's crashing. You're just hoping for a water landing.
Yeah.
We're
We're hoping you skip along the ground a bit, not just straight
exactly.
in.
Just don't go like nosedive. Like hopefully you just boop, boop, like a stone across the top.
Get a couple of good bounces in there.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
I hope you guys don't intend to retire anytime soon. You'll be fine.
A little 5-year gap.
I'm living on my portfolio. I don't know.
I mean, how big's your mattress, Leo? Are you gonna get that going?
Well, it's too late to buy gold.
Yeah.
If you bought Bitcoin to hedge your bet, you're not too
How's
happy.
that going for you?
That's not been a good thing. I'm going to ride it out. I figure.
I can't wait till the U.S. economy's on the Bitcoin standard. That's going to be the next one.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to ride it out. I'm staying in. I think it's all going to work out.
I'm just glad I built new machines before RAM went out into the stratosphere.
Wow. Is that crazy? And then Micron's announced that
They're not going to sell to consumers at all.
Why bother? We make so much money selling to AI companies.
And they don't complain about the prices.
And they buy all the chips we can make. So see ya, consumers.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm a little nervous because I've been
These all
holding
seem
out.
like harbingers, right? This is
maybe.
stupid.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna hope for a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, I think your Christmas miracle might come in August, but okay.
As long as it comes before I'm 80, I think we'll be all right. I can live 10 more years on
We can.
what I
Well,
got.
in my experience, we recover pretty quickly. We recover pretty quickly from 2008. We recover pretty quickly from 2001. It always seems to be faster.
Every time I think, oh, I'm going to cash out,
Right.
then the
It
market
doesn't make
goes
sense
up.
anymore all of a
And
sudden.
it's
Yeah,
like, well,
probably is a good time to cash.
You know what, though? You could live to be 100, and that will
a
always
Warren
be the
Buffett
case.
thing.
That's the problem is when you seriously think I'm going to cash out, it will never be right? You can't plan that.
I don't
say
think I
something
don't believe
like
in
that.
market timing.
No, you can't. It's impossible.
I am betting on the long-term success of the country and our economy.
And
Now, maybe that's foolish,
exactly.
but honestly, if it
Well,
isn't,
it's all we
it
got.
won't matter
It's a good
much
bet.
anyway.
It's
I'll be
just gonna
moving
be a
in with Paul
longer
in
term.
Mexico. Yeah.
Well,
That
take
was a
Kevin
lot.
Canada,
That was
too.
an uplifting way to end this fine program.
Nice.
Your hopes for 2026, which starts tomorrow, Paul Thurrott. What are you looking forward to in the new
A
year?
gentle plane crash? Is that your hope?
No, well,
Okay.
I mean, to keep it to the sort of Microsoft Windows space, I'm hoping we learn something about Windows 12. We've been talking about this one for 2 years now. I feel like.
Yeah.
So,
And now we see the pieces in place finally. It's exciting.
yeah.
I look
It'll
at how
be an
Visual
AI
Studio
operating
2026
system.
is changing.
It'll be all
Yeah,
AI
quite possibly.
everywhere, right?
I hope the lesson learned here on Microsoft's part was opt-in is important and always give people an escape hatch for those that don't want it. And
Right,
they do seem to be trending in that direction.
Right.
So hopefully that continues.
Richard, what do you think for 2026? What are your hopes?
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat here. That I looked at what Visual Studio 2026's roadmap looks like and how they've gone all AI for software development. I think it's a good roadmap for what Windows could be. I like the realignment of the leadership and some of the new people that are coming into play. That speaks well to a younger generation wanting to take the company places it hasn't been before. I think the situation between Judson and Satch is a little weird, but we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, it's a new era. Maybe that's we were just talking about the sense of like first, second, third CEO.
Yeah.
And maybe the future's a little different. It's leadership is split up a little bit more between different people.
Satch has been in 10, 11 years, right?
I know.
Like, he has run his course in that respect. That's as long as Ballmer was in.
I know.
So, it's not out of realms. We might see a leadership change in the next year or two.
I think that's what you're seeing at Apple too. Not that we care that much about that, but
But in
newer generation coming in.
Yeah, there's a new generation coming in. And you know what? They're smart. They're hungry. They want to change things. And I'd like to be on that ride. That's exciting.
I think we're going to be in some very interesting times.
We're in
the next few
interesting
years.
times, without a doubt.
No doubt about
Doesn't
that.
seem that complimentary, but yeah, you're probably right.
Thank you, my friends. It's wonderful to be able to spend the year with you. I look forward to a great 2026 worth of Windows Weekly episodes every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, 1900 UTC. We'll be back here next Wednesday, January 6th, for the next Windows Weekly. Happy New Year, guys. I hope you had a wonderful holidays. We thank especially the members of the club who've been our great support all this year. We look forward to a nice next Wednesday's January 7th. Thank you, Kevin. He's paying attention. Thank you for your support through the year. And I promise you 2026 is going to be very exciting for all of us on TWiT, especially if there's a crash. We'll have lots of fun watching us
Oh, boy.
burn. Watching the world burn. No, there's not going to be a
Get out
crash.
the marshmallows.
I am contrarian on this one. Paul Thurrott, Thurrott.com, leanpub.com for his books. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve. Enjoy your fire. Put some pants on, and we will see you next week on Windows
Listen,
Weekly.
the clothes are only coming off at this point, Leo.
It's sitting by this fire. Things are getting toasty around
This is as much as it's ever going to be today.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.